Good morning, traders. It looks like we've hit the pause button on the market. We'll see if we put it into fast forward towards the open. We'll see if we get a little bit of a rally, or do we break down through yesterday's low. We'll talk all about what's going on. Netflix. You guys let me know. Do you guys have a Netflix subscription? Well, it looks like a lot of people did have a Netflix subscription because that's definitely getting the lift. We'll talk all about some headlines. Get into the action. I got Lord Ryan in the back. Let's get to the trading action. We'll see what we got for you guys today. Welcome to it. Let's get it started.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, team, let's get into the action. Like always, it's always great to have you guys. I see you guys saying hello in the chat, and I'm with you. Is the SPY going to be up or down? What's the prediction, team? We'll see what else is going on there. Like always, we'll try to do our best to react to the price action. Got my man Ryan Faloona in the house. How's it going out there in Chicago?
It's going good. We
had
any
snow? Like, come on, man. Make me feel better about my life, Ryan.
So we have rain. Which kind of sucks because
rain
it's like,
in winter. Are you
it's
with
cold
me?
rain. It's cold rain. It's really disheartening. It's not even pretty and white. I don't think we're supposed to get snow till Wednesday. So no, we don't have snow here yet. I did.
Are you like me, Ryan? That it just doesn't make sense. Rain in winter. Just give me snow. Give me the real stuff.
Yeah. You know, one of the things, and I was actually listening to the radio the other day, and one of the weather ladies was on, and she was saying something that I've noticed too. At least in Chicago here, we're not getting less of a winter. It's just kind of shifting into the later months, right? So we used to start getting snow November, December. Now we don't really start getting it till January, February. And what that means is that on the tail end, sometimes you might have snow in April. That pisses everyone off but me, it seems. So, you know, it is what it is. It's just kind of shifting a little bit later in the year.
That's how it is. I mean, I know we change times in the year, but who knows? Maybe we start changing dates. add another December or something. Who knows?
Like daylight savings time, daylight savings month.
Just daylight savings month. You know what I mean?
Just give me a month off to do whatever, and then we'll just restart.
It sounds good to me. Let's get to the action. SPY coming up there to 390s today. We're going to see if we get back towards 391. Yesterday's high, 391.06. I think we see a little bit more. Yeah, maybe 391.08. Doesn't look too bad there. We'll see if we get back up there towards 391 today. Start getting into that 391.33 area, or do we break through the lows? That's what I'm going to be watching. How do I do this, team? Just make it simple for myself, right? Just put it on an hourly. Put a resistance area. Right? Are we going back above, let's say, this 390.50 area on the hourly or below? Let's put it there at around 387. We'll look to see what happens here. That's going to determine a lot of how I trade today. Are we getting a rip up? Are we getting the smack down? That's what I'll be looking for. And of course, we'll see if any traders really want to take more of that swing into next week. We'll get more of the earnings to start coming in next week. We got to be careful there. Well, let's take a look at Netflix as they reported earnings, right? We'll give you guys the numbers there at the bottom. Of course, you guys can keep up with all the numbers with Benzinga Pro. There you guys see the EPS and everything rolling at the bottom. Not going to get into it too much there, but a beat on subscribers definitely gave it the lift. It's up there towards 340s. We'll look to see if it can continue through that level. That's the important one for me to see it break through at the open to show me the positive move. If that does make that move, we can look for like stocks like Disney and Roku to stay positive. Yesterday, Roku tried to make that breakdown move, never really got it, then rebounded towards the close. So we'll look to see what happens there on a stock like Roku. Disney bouncing, Para getting a little bit of a lift on this, WBD. We'll look to see if these stocks can continue or do they turn around. Of course, I'll give one more news here before I get it over to Ryan. Triple BY now down towards 342. And just to give that news, because I know that we kind of trade some of those meme stocks, some of the lower price names. So Bed Bath & Beyond received a notice from the NASDAQ regarding a delayed quarterly report. Not what you want to be seeing there, right?
No.
This could be really bad news in the long run. We'll see what happens. I did see it take a hit on the stock, nowhere near as much as I thought it would hit it. So it only went down about 9%. Of course, this stock has made a huge move since about the 6th of where we're at right now. We're but still up about 160%. So just to keep that in perspective, this stock still can come down significantly and still not even get down there towards that 138. So we got to be careful on a stock like this. Remember, low price, big percentage moves there. Be careful, team. Like always, don't want to see anyone just get run over. We'll see what happens on GME. Can that get back there to 20? AMC, these started really breaking down yesterday. We'll look to see if we catch a bounce. ARKK also really got hit yesterday. We see some green today on that tape. Something to keep in mind. All right, out of Bed Bath & Beyond, out of the memes, going to go to my man, Ryan Faloona. You guys in the chat, smash the like button. It's time. What you got for me today, my friend?
Well, if you don't want to smash the like button, you can gently caress and press the like button. Whatever it is that you do, be sure to do support us. We're doing what we can to have as much content and be on as much as we can. Okay, with that out of the way, good morning to everybody. A whole bunch of people in here. Good morning. Hope you all are doing well. I know that what everyone wants to take a look at and what everyone wants to talk about is, in fact, GNS. We had a monster move yesterday on GNS, multiple opportunities to trade it, including this one near the end of the day, and then also that huge run up at the beginning of the day. And now we have another gap up. So after yesterday, we're actually up another 145% here in the pre-market. Now, it looks exciting. It's obviously got a lot of buying momentum. We might have a pop out of the gate here. Totally possible when the stock is showing this much strength. But please be advised, we are extremely extended at this point. If we take a look at the daily chart, the picture becomes even more clear. Just 2 days ago, the stock was 55 cents. Stock's currently $5.20. We're 10x in 2 days. So at some point, there is going to be a regression to the mean at some point. So just try to factor that into your trading plan. Again, if we're day trading this, so it looks like some of you are holding it for overnight. So awesome. Perhaps you'll be able to scale out here today. Definitely book some of those gains. Don't be afraid. Even if you have 100 shares, you can sell 20. You can sell 20 and book some of those gains. When you have outsized moves like this, it is imperative that you book some of those gains before the stock ends up turning around. Now, where is the stock going to go? Man, my guess is as good as yours. What seems to be happening here in terms of the pattern is that this seems to be really, really strong. So every time that we actually push up to a new high, we do kind of a little bit of a retracement. It's really not all that bad, but then we challenge that spot again. So one of the things that we might look for here is if it can actually pull back and settle and hold, as opposed to retracing a gigantic portion of this move, perhaps we can get setups to actually trade it through the high. Or better yet, we can trade it on a curl. The key here, though, is that, remember, there's the possibility that this stock knifes and knifes fast. So if you're trading this to the upside, which is the only way that I would trade it here, if you're trading this to the upside, understand that things can change in a hurry. So don't get up and walk and go get a drink or go to the bathroom. You might come back to see a price that's vastly different from when you got up. So just be careful with this thing. There's definitely money to be made here. You saw it yesterday. You're seeing it again today. A lot of people long overnight. Just be careful. I don't want to see anyone get really hurt. The emotions from being up big on a stock to all of a sudden being down suck. And I don't want that to happen to anyone here in the chat today. So I see Adam saying, I'm so pissed I didn't hold. Yeah, that's part of it. Jay saying 30 cents to $5. I'd say so, right? In 2 days. Yeah. Yep. So just like I said, just be aware. You can still trade this. There can still be trades. There might even be another opportunity today. But be aware, be safe. Always focus on protecting your capital. So GNS, another move here today. I suspect we're going to be talking about this and checking on this quite a bit. Next, we have APPH, and this is App Harvest. We've talked about this before. This has got a cannabis angle. Let's see if there's actually news here this morning. You can see one of the things that we did here is we popped all the way to 207, retraced about 60 cents of that move back down to about 150, and we kind of bounced from there. So at this point, next move up would would be to the VWAP at about 176. If we get that, that might be a nice trade. And if we can actually cross above the VWAP, we might have a little bit more of a trade. The one thing that I'm looking at here, volume not terribly impressive. So if the volume starts to look better than yesterday, I think we could actually get some pretty good momentum in this. And in fact, if the volume really picks up, we might even be able to break 207 to the upside and continue higher. Not saying that's for sure going to happen. We're going to be able to determine that by the volume that we see here in this name. Next one's going to be COSM. This is Cosmos Health. And if I recall correctly, this was the reverse split that we traded in here. This was what, 18 cents or something like that? I feel like Becca and Crow were on this name. I don't think it was COMS. I think it was COSM. So in any case, this is obviously post-split here. We've really kind of been in a downtrend, it looks like, recently. I mean, it's pretty clear downtrend. Now, we have bounced back to one of these levels that we found previous support at, but I don't necessarily want to get too excited just yet. I'd really like to see this range get cleared. And furthermore, I'd actually like to see a move towards 380, a strong move towards 380. One of the things that we might see here is if we get a little curl back towards this 360 line, sure, we might break it and we might try to go to 380. But again, that might be kind of the resistance area where the stock gets slammed down. So I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the move materialized. Again, just be careful if you want to trade this one. I'd be very quick on all of these names. I don't feel great about all of these names. You could see that there's a lot of other, looks like Blue Apron just popped in here. I'm going to say the same thing about Blue Apron. I obviously haven't charted this yet this morning. One of the things that we were talking about, okay, so the first thing that jumps off the page here is this level here, just over 1. Let's call it 1 to 105. I have a very hard time buying Blue Apron. I mean, every time that this goes up in the pre-market, look what it does in the regular session. I know yesterday we got a trade here, but again, we didn't have that big pre-market strength, and the volume really told the story there. So maybe Blue Apron is found a bottom here, and we turn around, we'll watch it, but I have to see it before I believe it. I'm not gonna take it for granted. Now, the big cap name that's going to be in play today here is going to be Netflix. And as Mitch was talking about earlier, Netflix reported earnings. Looks like the reason that they traded up is because they had a nice beat on the subscriber numbers. So if we go back here, Netflix Q4 global streaming paid net additions of 7.66 million. I don't have the estimate here, but I'm pretty sure that was somewhere in the 4s or something like that. So almost a 100% beat on that number. That looks like why it's trading up here. So the catalyst that we have printed here in Pro is Netflix shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 sales results and issued Q1 sales guidance above estimates. The company also reported its Q4 global streaming paid memberships were up 4% year over year. So good stuff there. Looking at the feed here this morning, we got a whole bunch of price target re-ratings. Okay, whole bunch of them. So it looks like, I'm not going to go through all of them, but a lot of the big ones here: Morgan Stanley, Piper Sandler, Jefferies, Evercore, JP Morgan, Baird, Barclays, Rosenblatt. Looks like they're all raising the price target here. Okay, so there looks like they're maintaining. So these looks like mostly price target readjustments, and that might carry Netflix through the session here today. If we take a look at the chart here, to me, this seems pretty obvious, right? This 340 level, we really want this to get broken. We really want to trade above 340. Let's take a look at the daily chart and see if we can figure out what levels we're looking at. First of all, the first thing that you should see here is that this gap, this huge gap down, this has been filled now. Now, this happened in May, right? So this did take a while to actually fill the gap, but we have filled that gap now. So it'll be interesting to see if we can pop above and move. I would say that if we really get some upside momentum, I wouldn't even say 400 is out of the question. Not today, but if we have some continued upside momentum. So we'll watch that here in Netflix. Again, number here today, 340, that we really need to see fall first. Take a look at some of the other stocks here. You can see that there's a lot of ETFs here in the list. Those have really been great traders, especially when the overall market volume's been low. We're able to actually get really good trade setups and trades out of those ETFs. So those are going to be in play today. I'm sure we'll look at those depending on what the market does. Google trading higher here. Alphabet shares are trading higher if the company will eliminate 12,000 jobs. So you are going to see this from a number of companies. And now that we're kind of getting into the earnings cycle, I expect to see more of this. In this case, yeah, it sucks that they're laying off 12,000 people, but that's what they need to do. It's going to be better for the stock price, and that's one of the reasons why the stock is up today. So I would expect a lot of this out of some of the other tech companies going forward here. Now, as far as Google goes, really the magic number here for Google seems to be 100 for me. It seems more predictable if we're able to get above 100. And I think if we do get any type of upside momentum in tech, I would say that this probably, with only being $4.50 away from 100, I think 100 is probably on deck here. We'll see if we end up getting that here today. That's pretty much all I got. Let's take a look at the SPY here real quick, because we've looked at this before. We'll actually take a look at Disney, because Mitch mentioned Disney in sympathy with Netflix, depending on how it actually goes today. We've got asked a number of questions yesterday about Disney. Is it a good investment? This and that. We took a long-term look at it, and the reality is that you could have bought Disney in 2014 for the same price you could have bought it today. So obviously there are a couple of moves here. The post-COVID move where this thing really went crazy and then came all the way back in, really hasn't gone much anywhere. Now, one of the things that I'm thinking about Disney is that the real strength here is going to be in its content, right? So if they can continue to put good shows on Disney Plus, they continue to add subscribers there, I think that's going to be overall good for the stock. Here, to me, if we can hold above 100, I think you can start using some of this moving average here with the 200-day moving average as the next spot. That's 103.65. So really not that much room on the upside. The one thing that is intriguing here, and again, I'm sorry I didn't have this on here. This was something that was discussed last night. We did have this trend line intact for a while. That's now been broken. So maybe the impetus here has changed. Good luck. Market is open. Let's go get it. We don't have Mitch, so it's just going to be me holding down the fort right now. Let's get it. Let's get it. Flipping over to my day trading workspace here, let's take a look at some of those stocks that were on the list. First one I want to take a look at here is COSM. This is Cosmos. Looks like they're kind of hanging in there. App Harvest 156. Yeah, Cosmos just holding right there at that 341, really not going anywhere. VWAP there at 347. That would be the first move. Now we're moving up to that VWAP on Cosmos. Let's take a look at App Harvest. App Harvest, we really want to get a break above maybe 168, 170 for some bullish momentum here. Looks like COSM is going. So Cosmos right through 350. Didn't see a whole lot of size there, but some decent prints. Hold it up here. Let's see if Cosmos can really get rolling. I'm going to take a look at the scanner here. Don't really see a whole lot of anything else yet. We'll wait. We'll be patient. We'll wait this out. Noel says for App Harvest is a solid long, advanced technology in large-scale indoor agriculture, growing green in places with poor environmental conditions, i.e. Africa. So Noel, one of the other things that I think about some of these gardening stocks is I really think vertical farming is something that's going to come into play more and more over the next couple of years. And I don't just mean for cannabis, I mean for a lot of different crops. And so I think that, let me know if you've actually dug into this. Let me know if there's any type of vertical farming angle with App Harvest. I know you said that the technology, advanced technology in large-scale indoor agriculture. I think that's going to be really important, right? Growing indoors, you're able to control all of those variables. By the way, oh my gosh, COSM. Sorry, I didn't have this one up. That one, absolutely monster move here on COSM. Looks like we really busted through that 350. Then we took out 360. Went as high as what high print do I have here? Looks like 380, right? 379. So 379, your day high here. Volume looking good on Cosmos. Just want to be careful if this volume dries up. I would expect this to come back in. 379, your day high. They're bringing some bids in. See if they can actually take out 379. Lots of volume up here. Okay, here comes a little bit of a pullback. Big time vertical. They could grow on the moon. Okay, that's a pretty good selling point right there, right? We can grow crops on the moon. That will probably be useful when the time comes. So thanks, appreciate that, Noel. App Harvest seems like it's got some long-term possibilities there. Is there anything else that you folks are seeing out there that you want me to take a look at? Mitch, welcome back.
Sup. Hendrickson. All right, let's take a look. What's going on here? BE. GE trying to pay me. Let's talk about that. My swing trade still on GE. You guys see that? It's working, baby. It's working. We took profits yesterday. We're now towards that 9 EMA number, right? I've talked about that level that I wanted to take a little bit of profit there. Took some at the 77s. Going to look for a quick down hit here out the open to take some more profits on that GE trade and then look to continue working this down, right? We've taken some yesterday around the 70. It was a 77 level, 77 like 03s. Now we're going to look to see if we can get through the 76 level here out the gates. Doesn't look too bad. We're starting to get that downside action. Let's see if I can take some profit into this move. And then I can worry about more day trades, right? The swing trade really working well here on GE. Now you're seeing that hit there. Come on. Let's go. Let's see if we can get it down there closer towards the 36 here, or the 76. Now 35 showing up on the bid. Going to actually put one out there to cover some at around 76.25. Let's look to see if we can take another half of it off there. Looking for another little takedown here, and then I'm going to take some profits. Let's go just a little bit more here, team. We'll see what else is going on. You guys call big out moves in the chat. I see you guys, Tesla, BA. We'll see what happens right now. Are you buying bear contracts or selling them as the stock goes down? So this is just straight up equity short. There's the 31s going through. Let's go ahead. Let's put out the 25s here. Let's see if we get the fill. Just needed to come down a little bit there. 26 on the bid. Come on, just a little bit more. A little bit more. Just looking for a little bit more here to take the profits. Boom. Got it. Let's go. Not bad there, team. Not looking too bad. Now we just got a little bit of the piece left here. Put it in perspective. It's not even a third of the position. It's about a fifth of the position left now. I can let this rest of this try to work down for the rest of the day. Not going to let it get back above 77, 75s. Just going to continue to let the trade work for me. Killer swing trade on GE. It's been killing it. Now we'll look to see if we can get back down there towards the 50% eventually. But we would need this to just keep cracking down. We'll see if we get the bounce. Took some profit on that first down move. Not a bad way to start the day. All right, there's the swing trade levels. Now I'm going to leave GE. I can keep watching that a little bit later, taking some profits. You can see we're down on everything from the open: financial services, technology, healthcare, everything coming down here out the open. SPY overall taking that move down. But remember, I have my hourly levels drawn for me. That's going to determine where I trade. I'm not going to jump too quickly. I need to see this break the range. If not, we could stay chopping the whole day. I'm not going to play in the chop. I've already started getting more and more into that.
And remember, Mitch, this has actually kind of been the pattern on SPY, right? We kind of trade up towards the end of the pre-market or even at that opening print, only to reverse quickly after that. I think this has happened 4 days in a row now. We've had very similar type of action. So again, good. I like the plan of kind of just waiting, being as patient as possible, and waiting out some of that opening craziness. We'll see if I still expect the SPY to trade back down. To me, 384 is going to be the next level where there's some really good support. I don't know if we'll see that here today. We do have option expiry today, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. That normally, for me, affects more the open, and then after that, it kind of slows down. But usually get picked up on the volatility, right? Especially towards the open. We'll see what happens. I mean, option expirations to me hasn't really given me an edge. It just means to me more like action going on. But I don't know how others use it. I know some like to use it kind of selling options on a day like today. We'll see what happens. Looking around to see what's moving. I see a number of people talking about LYT here in the chat. Yeah, that's the one I had up.
Yeah, LYT it busted right through 110, halted here at 114. I think I'd expect this to open up higher. But this may come in too here. So I guess I missed what you said. I was in the washroom there.
No worries, you're good. GNS pulling back there. You guys might get an opportunity eventually on the pullback on that. I personally would wait all the way back below 4, but hey, to each his own, right? We'll see what happens on that one. Been a big push there. Genius
350, group. Mitch, to my eye. I'm with you there. 350.
Yeah,
no.
You're so I called this support level around 4. You're saying even this resistance level at 350, so even further.
Well,
layers of support.
And the reason that I'm saying that, Mitch, is because we are so extended to the upside. Like we said earlier before it opened, what was it, 30 cents, 50 cents to $5 in 2 days? I mean, the downside move can come just as fast.
All right, Netflix made the move up. Let's see if Roku makes that move up to 51.50, and Disney would be another one to kind of watch, right? It kind of has made a move. We'll see if that can continue. Netflix making that move up there through the 340s, looking like it wants to go back to the pre-market high. It's starting to push there. That's about 344, and then the all-time high there, not the all-time, the after-hours high there is 345.64. Look to see if we get to those levels. Looking around, seeing
Netflix
China down. Yeah, that's what I just kind of chatted about on Netflix. Looking to the basic materials, steel starting to get into the green here. We'll look to see if some of this can actually start catching some uplift. Not seeing too much uplift right now in the market.
So Netflix took out that 341.
Apple down. Yesterday finally popped. We'll look to see if we get a little bit of a bounce there, but it's just coming down really fast here. Tesla buy VWAP. We'll look to see what happens on that. I'm even thinking about maybe VWAP shorting on Tesla today. Thursday's high is going to be so important. That 130, if we can't get through there, it could start cracking down. 130 though could get a little bit of a push, so just keep that in mind. SPY getting a little bit of a bounce, trying to come back to VWAP. I'm really not trying to overreact early. I want to jump in names right now, but I'm not trying to overreact. I'm trying to keep things simple. Ally Financial had good results. That has just done a nice VWAP bounce, continued to the upside. Maybe you look for a stock that was strong, that pulled back the last couple of days to get another little lift. Maybe Morgan Stanley now starts pushing back up, right? I'll see what happens on a name like that today. It is trying to make a little bit reversal back through 94.50. We'll look to see if it actually starts holding that level. Morgan Stanley, JPM maybe get back above. We'll see. Consumer cyclical now slightly getting into the green. Going to take a look here. What's making the move? Seeing some broadcasting TV getting a little bit of a lift. Of course, this could be off of Netflix numbers. Let's take a look at WBD. That's actually down. Para down also, just to state.
Crow saying COSM waking up. Now, COSM, this is good, right? We're actually holding these gains, right? So we're consolidating on this next leg up here. Definitely a good thing. I think as long as we stay really above 370 on this consolidation, we're doing pretty good. Really, the trigger for a long entry at this stage is really going to be the volume. Right now, it's great that we're holding the price, but I want to see some buying volume. That would be my entry trigger here. Wouldn't necessarily be opposed to trying to buy the break here, but it would really need to show some increased strength before we did that. COSM looking decent right here, though.
SPY just playing chop game right now. At least that's what it seems like.
Yep. First move up a little bit, then down, now up again. That's chop. That's what that is.
Trying my best not to play, especially like these leverage plays, like success early. I'm trying to let things develop, right?
Settle,
yeah, let things settle down. It's been helping out as of late, letting things settle down. Unless I'm trying to take things right out the gates, like I'm either right out the gates or wait through that first kind of 30 minutes, maybe even an hour into the market before I'm really taking a lot of trades. This is actually helping out because some of the retail traders are getting stopped out, getting that volatility through, and then we see the market actually choose a direction.
Real quick, by the way, Mitch, GNS broke down beneath 4 here. Very, very little support there at 4. It continues to break down. Steve is saying COSM sold half my position on the pop. Awesome, Steve. This is one of the things that I've been talking about recently in terms of scaling out. When you get that pop in your favor, take some of your position off. If necessary, you can always add it back if it comes back. But good job being disciplined here and scaling out of that position on a day trade. Nice job.
All right, willing to take like a 10-cent shot on that GNS here. Just wanted to crack right back below $4 here, get closer towards that 392. Already kind of bounced off of that level, 393s and went to 387s. I want to get 4s here, but it might not give me the opportunity. I have to jump here on the 407s, 406 if I wanted to get in. Rickson, can't hit the buy button, buddy. Only I can.
Is Hendricks trying to buy stuff now?
Yeah, man, definitely. He was hitting some buttons there. I was like, yo, be careful there, bud. There's some buttons you're not allowed to touch.
Apron, after that little show in the pre-market, not a whole lot going on here.
At least got paid good with that GE today. So regardless, I'm willing to take a shot here. It's already going up there, 414 now. GNS, I might have missed the entry there at 4. I didn't really see it when it cut through there, right? I mean, Brian kind of told me, but I wasn't watching it. I would have liked to get that 4 entry there, risk off a 392, but.
And you were right, Mitch. We did actually bounce a 4. I know we traded beneath it, but you got a nice 20-cent bounce here from that 4 handle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to get in it now. That's a little bit late to jump into the party.
Well, you got VWAP there at 438. So this move here, we'll see if it can actually curl up to that VWAP. But again, I still think it's so extended it probably breaks down. Pro 395 entry on GNS.
I don't think it's a bad entry.
No, it's not. Daniel's saying, where can we trade it? Daniel, that's one of the things that we're looking at right now, right? We broke down beneath the VWAP. Looks like the bounce at that round number 4 has so far held, but we'll see where we end up going here. Still a lot of still see a lot of sellers in the level 2.
Come to Cuatro. Come to Cuatro. Cuatro, please. Looking at it, team.
Daniel's saying, sorry, Ryan, I meant what platform can you trade GNS on? I mean, I would assume any of them. I would think.
Yeah, maybe some you can't get short on it, but you should be able to trade.
You should be able to buy it, sure.
Yeah. What's the leverage financials? I always forget this one.
FAS.
FAS. There you
go. FAZ.
Thank you, my friend. That's what I want to be looking at right now. I'm liking this bull financial right now. I saw Financial Ally has been strong, right? MS starting to get strong. I'm seeing JPM climb a little bit of the worry. Let's see Goldman Sachs. Yeah, that's climbing a little bit there. So I'm looking at it like a leverage play here. It would be a VWAP bounce type of style. I would want it to pull back here at least to 77.09, 77s, then get in for the break above 77.50s. We'll see what happens there. This is just takeoff. Let's go back to that GNS. Looking for that 4 entry. Still haven't gotten it back down towards 4. I went to 402 there, slightly off that 4. So we might have not been able to get in there. I might have to jump in here if I wanted. But the problem with jumping in here is that can I really risk down to 392? I'm risking 23 cents. So would I have to at least make what? 60 cents on the upside. 60 cents on the upside would be a move back towards like 475. So I got to determine if that makes sense for me here. I would like to risk below that 392, closer towards that 387, maybe 375. So that would mean getting in closer towards that 4. So I could risk 25 cents down there versus risking it at 412s, which makes me pull to a tighter stop. All right, let's keep going. Trade zero, good for shorts too. Definitely, Elon. Definitely agreed with trade zero. I like them. Ally, don't think it's a big holding in FAS. It's dominated by Burke. Yeah, definitely, Jay. The key there is I'm looking at the one that is the popular name right now to kind of give me the lead, right? And you saw Ally going up. Now it's a little bit of a pullback. Morgan Stanley, though, is really where I would be kind of more trading, right? Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs coming back. That's what I'm looking at more. I like the Morgan Stanley because that one ran and pulled back on the decent numbers, right? It got a lot of lift, a lot of love on that. It is starting to push back. We'll look to see if we get a pullback towards VWAP. Maybe we get into that one. Right now, I'm just keeping it simple. SPY hasn't broken out of the range, right? That's what I want to see happen first. Then I can worry about trading. If I'm trading too much here, I feel like I'm just giving up trades, over trading. And then when the actual action happens, then I don't have trades to get into. That's what I don't want to get to. All right, GNS, let's go. That's not too bad of a borrow there for GNS, 270. SI breakout, that's actually interesting to catch there, Vegan. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, that's not a bad one to catch there. It is getting a nice little push here. We'll see what happens on that one. That one should give a little sympathy to coin, right? So if I was going to trade off the relationship, I would trade this like a VWAP bounce, and I'd look for SI to continue breaking out. That's how I do the leader laggard style trade, team. So I'd be like, all right, well, I need coin off the VWAP here, and I'm going to risk off maybe like 50, looking for that kind of relationship play to come in. We'll see what happens there. SI taking a nice lead there. Coin trying to do a little bit of a VWAP bounce today. Maybe you're an MSTR fan or maybe a Mara fan. We'll see what happens today. SI, nice little push there. Coin is where I would try maybe closer towards 50. Look for the VWAP bounce. We'll see what happens today. SPY overall, just chopping around. It doesn't look strong to me, but it's not doing much. So we'll see what happens. Apple went to VWAP. If you look for a VWAP fade, that did give you an opportunity there. Right on the VWAP for the fade, right back down. That doesn't look too bad. I would like it to come right back to VWAP, reject that high 134.87. And then as it starts coming back down, we could look for the short on that one. Let's go back to GNS. GNS, did we get the 4? Ooh, we did get the 4 there. Trying to put out
another wick down to 4 there, yeah.
I missed it though. Looking at other stocks, team. I wanted that. I'm gonna have to jump in here now. You guys see me. This is what I don't like to do, team. Chase a little bit. I'm chasing. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the FOMO, SMOMO. You guys see I get in there immediately. I'm already down a little bit, but I got in there with about half the piece that I wanted to get in there at 4. So it came in with half the piece to try to give me a little bit if I do get a little bit of a pullback here. But I did jump in there 416s. I wanted the 4. You guys saw it. This is how it's important to sometimes just focus on your plan, right? I'm trying to make sure that I catch some stocks that are moving for you guys out there. But if I was trading by myself, I'd be honed in on what I'm looking at. Look to see if we get that lift or not now. I wouldn't want it to crack 4 now, really. It can even touch it, but I wouldn't want it to see it close below 4. I want to see this start ramping back if it's going to really ramp. We'll see. Took a really tiny piece there. I want to add that 4. Wanted to get the full piece. We'll see. The crow. Yeah. That million on the block. Yeah. He said there was a block buy there about like $1 million. Tesla breaking out. Let's go to 3 charts here. Try to keep you in line with that too. SPY, I'm going to put on the left-hand side. You're seeing the SPY get a little bit of a bounce there. Tesla get a little bit of a lift. That's a nice little push here. I'm going to keep GNS on the right-hand side here. We'll look to see if we get a lift there. 4 was really the level that I wanted to get in. I have 416, willing to add to it, but let's see if we get a takeoff. Tesla, nice little move there. SPY trying to push up. Remember, 390.50s is really where I want to see it continue to show me that we could get that nice uplift day. If this is having a nice uplift, let's see if Netflix can stay strong on this little pullback. We'll see what happens there. Tesla Dragon. Hendrix, you are just smacking all types of buttons. Sector rotation into tech, says Jonathan. He sees it out of the industrials. Not a bad mention there, right? We can take a look at the techs right now. Just give me a second. I'll go to like Soxel.
Netflix pulling back here. Speaking of tech names, Tesla new highs, new day highs. So that about, man, that's the trade right there. I'm sorry I missed that. Tesla breaking out. Trader Jonesy all over it. Let's go. Let's go, Trader Jones. Let's go.
We were, I was seeing that 130. Had it on the chart there. SPY still not giving that lift there. We'll see what happens. Tesla though making a nice move. So the important level really, I would say, is Tuesday 131.70. Now that you gotten through 130. So looking for that 131.70 area, that could act as resistance. We'll see if that does act as resistance. GNS now pulling back here. Going to go ahead and focus in here. Try to add if it can go bouncing off $4. Cut through the 392s, and we got to let it go. We'll see what happens here. Giving it a couple more seconds here. It's at the 392, 391s now. It's getting a wick there to the 380s there. You got to see if it can recover here.
Seeing puts come in for Netflix.
Puts coming in for Netflix.
Yep. Jonathan wants to know if you were working on mimosas this morning.
You know it. That's what I'm all about, man.
You know it.
Pinkies up. Ain't for no reason, team.
That's funny.
Looking for it to recover 4. If not, we'll stop out here through the low right now on that last candle, 78s.
Man, Google, nice move here right out of the open. Magnet for that 100.
Hands right on the trigger here, team. When I trade these, I try to be really quick to the decisions. Try not to be too lagging on my decision. So it needs to recover that 392. We got a quick candle here. That's where it's going to really matter. Do we get that recovery immediately? If we cut through here, we got to get out, at least for myself. You guys always make your own decision if you guys want to get out or in.
Yeah, this 380 was a reversal point earlier in the pre-market, maybe 379.
Yeah,
378.
Now we're getting back to the 4. I like that outlook there. Just need to cut through 4 here, and then I can add it. Needs to get back to 4. Still hasn't done that. That's why I haven't added it there. If I add it here, and then it immediately just reverses, then it's just kind of like a buy-sell. That's not what I want. I want it to be like more like a buy, and then I know exactly where my out is.
BTB, by the way, small cap stock here that popped into a halt and is higher here. Bit Brothers Board of Directors forms a special task force to investigate suspected illegal short of its stock. Interesting.
Is it naked? All right, we just got to back up there. Come on, 4. Still hasn't shown up. It went to 399. Got a little bit of volume on this decline, so that's not too bad if we can recover 4 now. SPY trying to get to that through that 390, just to give you guys that perspective. Tesla in the middle here, trying to get up there.
So BTB went as high as 280, retraced about 2/3 of that move here.
All right, added there.
Not sure why that was a positive story, but nonetheless.
Taking my shot there, team. We'll see what we got now.
Go for it, Mitch.
towards 403, out right on the bottom of that candle here. We don't want to see 383s break. Going to let it give the shot back there towards 450s, 460s. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Megal's going here. This is one of those HKD crazy names that has been trading. I don't trust these names. I can't. Good luck if you guys are trading these. Again, just make sure you book gains. I don't know. This all seems dirty to me.
Speculative. That's the word, my friend.
Speculative. Yeah, that's the PC way of saying it, right?
SPY trying to get back up there, team. We'll see what happens. Did Netflix do a little VWAP bounce? Doesn't look too bad there. Let me see on the 3 minute. And 3, it hasn't come.
Wally asking about a penny stock here. ACAN again. I'm not a penny stock guy, Wally. I'm sorry. These are not the stocks that I have an angle with. Yeah, decent formation here on your intraday charts. It looks like it's trying to take out that first stick that it made right out of the open here. What happened? Man, what happened? That's not what I clicked on. So it looks like it's trying to take this level out, this 26, but this is a no trade for me, Wally. I'm sorry.
All right, we're back to 4 here. Do we get the volume to come in on GNS? There's a little pop there, 409 now. Average for me is 403. Want this to start really pushing. Let's see if we can get to the VWAP. That's 44. I'll sell some there,
yeah,
and then I'll look for the
sell
break.
some there, Mitch.
Yeah, in this type of market, I don't look for continuations. I look for range test a lot of the time. That should be more along where I'm looking into my profit to loss ratio, just trying to get the good outlook there. So 3-1 for me in the 44 is I'd be happy with that. I'll take some of that and then look to see if we actually get the breakout or not, especially when you're trading a name like this. Just looking for a nice little pop to sell a good portion of it. And then from there, look for the breakout. We'll see if we get it or not. GE took out 76 like a falling rock. That's what I like to hear. Jan staying up with that GE.
413 looks to be your spot here on GNS. By the way, there was lots of volume traded there. Let's see what happens if they can take 410 out here. There goes 410. A little bit of size there at 413.
All right.
See, here it is. GNS. If you can take this out, I think you go higher. There it goes. Okay, I think we're going to that VWAP now on GNS.
We'll see. We gotta get it going. Gotta get the motor going. Not seeing the pop volume just yet. Want to see if they come back.
They did bring in a bid there. Oh, they just hit the bid.
We'll see, team. Kind of this is the outlook now, right? You can see how this trend line, like we finally got back above it.
Is it 415?
And started holding. Now you don't really want it to break down there, right? You want it to kind of keep holding, especially like that 4 on pullbacks. It's even okay. Now we just need volume to come in.
Yeah, and what you want are these blocks of stock for sale to get hit, right? So you got another block here at 415. They hit it there, but they didn't take it out. This could actually help your volume stick if they take the seller out at 415. There it goes. There it's going down. There it goes. So this is definitely encouraging. Definitely encouraging.
Nice little pop. It's 2019's 420s I saw show up there for a second. Yeah, 420s. Come on, 420, baby. Anyone SMMT says W? That's not a bad one. That one's been holding up. You want to give it a good outlook on that one, Ryan?
Yep, sure. Let me pull it up here. SMMT, this is actually one that we initially got off of our scanner, what feels like, I don't know, a month or two ago. I'm going to pull it up here. We'll take a look at it. This is definitely a nice move. So this 439, we've actually had this added to this chart for some time. Let me zoom out here. Again, I apologize about the lag that's going on here. Not sure what's going on. This area right in here, this 440 area. What's going on with my charts? Holy smokes. This 440 area has really kind of been important, right? You can see this actually did act as support and it acted as resistance. And it's actually done both recently. Now that we're above this here, to me, next spot that we really need to trade up to is going to be about right here, right? So maybe 475. Definitely have some room here on SMT. This is definitely a good thing to see here, right?
Nice
We
little
just took
pop.
out the pre-market highs. Want to see some more volume though.
Nice little pop there towards the 28s. It just topped right there. I want to see it cut through that 28. Then I can take in some profit. I'm getting a little bit anxious to the profits. I can feel it, team. So when I get anxious to the profits, I want to put that limit order out there in the next little pop, because I could see the action slowing down off that 28. Wanted to get to the VWAP. That's really when you're going to start seeing buyers step back in. Where the buyers step back in, I sell a piece.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch, this is really good. I think that you really got some good levels here. Crow, you were in this from what, 395 or something was your buy? So that's really good too. VWAP here 433.
All
right,
getting a little anxious here, so I took some profit there, team. I'll let you guys know, like always, I'm going to give you guys the insight on that. Took the profit right there a little bit. I can tell you right now, I got a little anxious there.
Well, it hit.
Took 428s there. It just didn't. My VWAP's a little bit higher. Where's your VWAP at?
432.
Mine's 439. So you see there, I don't mind it then. I don't mind that I took it a little bit. I took 428s there, and just to pay myself a good amount. Now I can let this trade work, break even on the rest. And what I like about this moment here is that this is where I call the no risk moment. At this point, my emotions go down so much. I'm just like literally hands off. Either let the trade work or it doesn't. That's from this point on. Just like we're going to talk about in Trading in the Zone this weekend for our club, our book club, right? At this point, the plan has been set. Probability is set. There's no more emotions to the trade. It's just watch. See if it happens. And if it doesn't, you use your execution to go ahead and get out.
Tesla taking the next leg higher here, and actually Bitcoin strong here as well. Bitcoin pushing that 21,300 level. I would expect Raya and Merit to start gearing up here as well.
Yes, SI, right? Got that started really. I didn't even think it was Bitcoin. SI traders see that lift there in SI, right? Look how it pulled back to the VWAP there and bounced right back up. Coin, we talked about how 50 looked good like for a pullback. It held 50 on this pullback, recovered right there. Now it's holding VWAP. Now it's making the move right back up. This is how I do leader laggard style trading, team. And I think from there, I was like, all right, well, what about Mara off the bottom? What about those type of stocks? Well, you're seeing them start getting that reversal action. Tesla making a nice lift. Netflix went right back to VWAP. VWAP bounce. We called this one out also. I wasn't able to nail it, but I'm just calling out sometimes patterns for you guys to go ahead and take a look at. You guys determine if that's good for you, but definitely not a bad little pullback there for Netflix. Look how it went to the VWAP, gave you those wicks, buying pressure there through the 338.50s, recovering, now right back up there towards the resistance. Not a bad little play there if you got Netflix. GNS still working for me. Going to look for the big pop, which is above the 450s. We'll see if we get that. Not a bad day for me. Now I can just let things work.
The feed up trade, Mitch. Way to go.
Yeah, I always
make your job easier.
Situations, right? It's so hard to make decisions in trading. Once you get into some good positions, I like to just stick back, relax, and let that work. This is trading actual shares of the underlying. Yes, you're right, Michael. We're doing common stock here. I'm not doing the options. I would have to give you guys an expiration and things like that, and what strike price I'm taking it at, what's the contract price. And that's what you'd be hearing, Michael, if it was the opposite and more options trading. We do have options trading on this show, but I'm just letting you know, for me, most of the time, it's just going to be common stock. All right, so I do want to take a look at the intraday action, see what's maybe moving in the last 30 minutes, or let's actually do like the last 15 minutes. So we're looking at the real recent action, right? So I'll bring up my Benzinga Pro to do this. You guys can take a look here, and we'll go through some of these names really quickly. ICU, big lift, cheap name, right? This is 48 cents. EV Go, getting a little bit of a push. We've talked about that one multiple times here. So we'll see what happens on EV Go. Cosmo Health, getting some lift there. We'll see what happens on these names. Definitely seeing some of the smaller names show up here. I might have to filter out. Yeah, let me filter out by $1 here. Let's actually just do 5. Make it easier. All right, so some bigger names here that at least are above 5 here. We'll see what happens on these names, but they are still getting the lift right now. Seeing ANNX, PRTG, TRDA. Not really names that I really know here. AER, AEHR. That one might be one that's getting a little lift today. Take a look at that one. Let's go ahead. Let's see how that one's doing. AEHR. Ooh, that one's getting a nice little lift on the day. I've seen this one run before. That's why I'm taking a look at it. Look at this. This is actually pretty strong. AEHR,
yeah,
semiconductor equipment.
And it's been strong. AEHR has been strong. We actually took a look at that yesterday.
Nice little push back. It looks like it's trying to get back there to 30s. We'll see what happens on that. SPY overall now through that 390.50. Now I would be looking for more of that upside action play, right? Apple was actually in the red. I'd be looking for this to maybe reverse. I've been kind of bearish on Apple, so I'm not going to go for it. But I do think that if you're seeing this kind of push, you could get that nice little lift now. Tesla's been leading, right? We'll look to see if that can continue running. Netflix pulling back to the VWAP, maybe giving us another opportunity. Let's go to Google. That's been strong as of late. Look at that move in Google today. Definitely he's been strong there. They cut workers today, giving them a lift. Microsoft just VWAP bounce. We'll look to see if that can get back to 237s today. Doesn't look like a bad day overall for stocks as we're starting to get some lift. Let's go to the sectors and the industries to see what's doing well there. Consumer cyclical and technology getting the lift. Financial services behind that. So I was looking at Fast. Fast was not a bad outlook. We got the VWAP bounce after. I missed that little pullback, 957. You went right to the VWAP. 77.03. The low on it, 77.04. So you might have missed the VWAP by a penny. But it went right back up there towards the highs. Remember, I was looking at Morgan Stanley as the leader, right? They're kind of getting back to the green side there. You can see it's having a good day. JPM was another one that I was looking at earlier. It's having a decent day up there to 135.50s. These don't look too bad. Banks getting a nice little lift. Goldman Sachs also following along. Looks like financials having a good time.
Goldman Sachs pretty much right to the level where it was yesterday. Hasn't really broken out yet. It'd be interesting to see if it can do that here. Netflix is kind of bleeding back some of the gains off that first 2 candles this morning, but still positive here. Still having a pretty nice day. Jan, take care. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for all the trading here this week. Really appreciate it. We'll see you on Monday. Bitcoin names here seem to be breaking out, right? Riot and Mara both trading up here. Hut as well.
All right. Seeing if we're going to get that lift for GNS. It came back there towards a low of 405. So you got to be careful with that one, right, team? We're not going to let that cut through the 4 again. If it does cut through the 4, I will be getting out of that. We'll see what happens there. If we can get the next profit on GNS, already giving me a nice cushion on the day. So now just let the trade work. That's what I like to do, team. All right, we'll see what else is going on out there. Will the SPY hold this 30.90.50, this 390.50? We'll see if that can continue getting the lift today. Netflix pulling back down, actually cutting through now. Look to see if it can recover, but definitely took a little bit of a pullback, a little bit deeper pullback there than expected.
COSM, Cosmos here, pretty much breaking down. So we pushed as high as 4, got a second push there on good volume and really kind of broken down. We're just back here at 350. I would say if we lose this, the pre-market lows here, this level here, what, 337? We lose this area, probably off for the day. I would take it off my screen for the day. See if Cosmos can actually curl and make a move back towards that VWAP and then maybe through that VWAP. That would be the next setup here for a long side trade on Cosmos. I do see some of those banks here, Mitch, in the scanner list here. I saw Regions Financial, Ally Financial in here. Goldman Sachs still holding that level. We'll see if it can actually break out.
Ooh, Allies right now in the VWAP. That looks interesting. Looks interesting. I'll show you guys that right now. This is the middle chart right here. But I like
LYT turning, says Crow. Let's take a look at LYT.
Yeah, I saw that get a nice little pop there above the 130s. There you guys, I'm out of the GNS there on that pullback. Got out of that on it. There you guys see it. And that's what is important to me, right? Take first profits. Now what happens is I get stopped out of the trade. But did I end in the green? Yes. That's why I like taking first profits. Not a bad little trade there. Can look for it to come back. But I'm also not going to fight it here because the downturn could be significant. Not going to fight that downturn there.
And that's exactly why we've been talking about scaling out of trades, right? That was a great real-time example of exactly why you want to do that. It didn't get quite to the profit target that you want, but because you were able to scale out on the way up, you're able to keep yourself in the green at the end of the trade, even when the stock pulled back. And that's exactly how you can successfully do some of these day trades. Great stuff there, Mitch.
Yeah,
great stuff there.
And I think that's just
LYT through 145. Sorry, let me pull my screen up here real quick. We were just talking about it. It literally happened as I was congratulating you. The market loves to do that. Break through 145 here, currently holding it at 148. I don't think it's halted. No, it's not. It's still trading here. So we'll see if we can push higher through 150. There it goes. There's 150. There was actually a seller there at 150 that they took. So this might have some more room here to the upside. We'll see where it ends up settling. A little bit more size there at 152. They brought in a bid here at 151. Ooh. And that bid's getting hit. And they took it higher, walking the bid up now. LYT, I think you hooked one here. Good call, Crow. Good call, Crow. We were a little late to this. Lots of volume here. Look at the size of these candles. A little bit more size there at 155. Still have a bid right under it, though. It's halted. LYT halted at 154 here. I would expect this to open up higher. So this is what, a 10-minute halt, I believe? Watch LYT here. Great stuff.
Been talking about the 40 level on Halliburton, and it gave a beauty of a pullback today. I'm going to look for a VWAP bounce on this one a little bit later in the day if we can get a pullback to it. Would like to play this off the 40 for a swing. It pulled back today to 39.93s. I really like that entry if you were able to get it. Look for SLB to lead also. So I'd look on the daily chart. This one's a little bit higher than the action. Could pull back eventually to 55, but if it can hold here, get right back through 59 and 60s, it'll be looking really good for Halliburton to kind of follow that little pullback off of the 40s. We'll see what happens there. Oil overall, not having a bad day. It's still in the green right now. Could turn around. Yesterday, it did kind of push right back up. And so we're kind of still in this kind of bearish channel right now for XOM and the pattern. I needed to get back above 112s, but it is pulling back here. High volatility in these oil names. We'll see what happens today. Gosh, I'm actually leaning more to the bullish side, but we'll have to wait and see. See if I get those pullbacks in Halliburton or not. Technology still staying up there. Consumer cyclical now starting to pull back a little bit. Of course, when we talk consumer cyclical, we're talking stocks that have what? High beta. And so that's why when the market moves fast, these move fast also. Tesla trying to continue the push, right? We'll see if it could actually continue that push there and keep running higher. Earnings on the 24th. Let's go. Halliburton, who knows? Could be all the way up there by then. But I did like that 40 there. Can maybe run into the earnings too, right? We'll see if it pulls back today or not. Valero, how's my Valero doing? That one's pulling back a little bit. It's been a monster. All right, industrials still in the green, bouncing a little bit today. We are still seeing CAT up a little bit. We'll look to see if this actually breaks down on the day. This one's now starting to reject. Look how it rejected the resistance here. I look for a lot of the times if you had some hard downside action, do you see it run right to resistance and then reject? This is kind of that rejection play from a weekday prior. Look for this often to happen. And a lot of this is just kind of pop backs to resistance, and then it fades right back towards the low of the day around 244.56. One doesn't look too bad there for a short for CAT, but you got to be able to deal with some of the volatility in it, and it has like a 10-point spread. The cat's out the hat. Here, similar chart, right? See what happens on these. Go back to the SPY. SPY tried to get back up there through the 390.50s, and guess what? Some chop. It pulls back. This is what I'm worried about the market. The chop action. It just eats people alive. All right, time to keep going, team. It's time to see what else is making moves. You guys keep calling stocks that you guys are catching in the chat. I even stopped watching that GNS. We'll see if it makes a move later in the day, but I'm sure you guys
LYT is the one we're waiting to open here.
LYT, is this the second halt or the third halt? I think this is the second halt.
This is the second.
All right, still got some upside momentum potential. I don't stay after 3 halts. I don't know about you.
I try to.
I have a 3 halt rule.
I try to avoid all halts. I don't like being in halts. I don't like when stocks get halted. I've been in halts where I've thought the momentum is so strong, this has to pop to the upside out of the halt, only for it to drop to the downside and have me lose all my I just don't like it. I'd rather be able to watch the price action and trade off of that than get stuck in a halt and hope for a pop in my favor.
Ally holding those pullbacks towards the 29.40s. I'd liked around the 29.50s, but I didn't want to risk all the way to 29s. Would have had to keep it tight to that 29.40s. Now starting to push up there to 29.80s. So you're already getting that kind of 30-cent return for 10-cent risk. Not too bad there. We'll see if it takes out the highs today. Look to see if some financials can continue to fast, starting to pull back. I'll look for a VWAP bounce there, maybe around 77.40s. I want to see Morgan Stanley can kind of catch back there. There's LYT opening up on the right-hand side. I saw a peak there towards 170, 173. Now you're towards 175. We'll look to see if it can continue. When will be the next halt? We opened up at 161. So in perspective, 10 cents higher, or it's going to be about 20 cents because it's $1. So let me just try to give you that outlook there. It's going to be about what, 10%, talking about 16 cents higher from that 161. So talking about like 176 around there. That's probably where we should maybe get the halt. But of course, that's in the 1 minute. Look to see if it takes out 175 on LYT. Morgan Stanley coming down fast there. Not what I wanted to see. I spy with my little eyes. What are you going to do today? Ten times the float in the first hour on GNS. What does that mean to me, Jay? That means to me also sometimes that you might need to wash out some of the players, and then you could get a run later in the day. I got no problem keeping an eye on that GNS. I just think that, like always, you got to sometimes get in and get out while the getting's good. Fast. LYT still hasn't broken through that 175. We'll see what happens there. FAS pulling back there, hasn't come to the VWAP. SPY looked like it's trying to do a little bit of a bounce there. There's 177 for LYT. And a pullback. That one's tough.
Okay, sorry. Answering a support question.
You're good, my friend. Not a worry. I'm looking around to see what the action is. It's kind of slowed down for me. And so you guys know I got my early cushion. Ooh, I got an alert. I got an alert. And this one is not my alert. This is from the chat alert. Quantum. You out there, my friend? I told you I'd give you the alert. CDE. You told me about this stock, not me. Gold stock getting a lift there through 4. We talked about this. Would we get back there through 4? This looks good to me. CDE, mining stock, gold mining stock, starting to get through that 4. Looks good there, my friend. Quantum, I told you I got you. That's what it's all about, team. I always love when you guys give me stocks to look after. I didn't even know this stock until Quantum brought it up, and that's what it's all about, team. Trying to help each other find plays. Like always, we can't tell you where to get in, but we can tell you what we see out there. That's one thing we can share.
Yeah, and one more thing. So here, Dan saying no news on LYT. Nope, none that I see, man. I got nothing here in pro, and I was also checking the Twitter streets to see if there was anything floating around on Twitter. I haven't found anything. This looks like just pure trading action here. Maybe it's part of the share structure, but no, I don't see any news on this issue.
Hendrickson. Lay down, buddy. Lay down. All right, looking around to see what else I can find. I'll look for that CDE to pull back to 4. I don't want to jump in here around 408, but it doesn't look too bad if I could get that pullback towards 4. LYT on the right-hand side here. We'll see if that can keep going. SPY overall still battling to try to get back above that 390.50. It just doesn't make me confident to trade in any direction when we're not getting that push, that drive. We're still holding, but we'll see what happens there. There's the next lift for LYT towards the 80s. We'll look to see if it can get up there towards 195 and 2 eventually. But it's had a good day overall. That's been up about 122, 124%. Big move there. All right, keep going, team. Gotta get some other charts up here. I go looking around, team. 379 holding again there for GNS. What we're gonna start doing is I'm gonna start looking for that kind of hourly sideways action. If we can get hourly sideways action for some time, maybe we can find the bounce. For right now, it isn't doing it. I'll just keep watching it. MS, does that come back up here? Ooh, it did put a nice little wick there that I like there. I'm going to try to get FAS, and it's already to the top of the range. Can't get it there. I would have to go for like an MS. I figure out if I'm going to go after these banks or not. Just so slow on the day, man. Netflix, what are you going to do? Pulled back, bounced a little bit, but not really showing much. LYT, still staying strong. It's a streamer in India. Maybe it's yeah, that's what Jay's saying.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying the sympathy with Netflix here. Platform services company primarily providing content streaming / telecasting services to users located all across India. Jay Rice hit the nail on the damn head.
Caesar's getting a little bit of a bounce. Doesn't look too bad. A little bit of a bounce there. I saw it asked about in the chat. I'm just not so confident that I want to be in casinos if we're going to get into a recession, right? I think that's the only worry I have. Does it look like a Head and Shoulders?
Aren't vices where people spend money during a recession? Alcohol, drugs, gambling, those types of things? I feel like that.
Yeah, but Ryan, do you need to go to Vegas to bet anymore?
No.
You can bet right there.
So you're saying the actual physical casinos, not just gambling. No, you don't.
Yeah, that's one thing that's changed, right?
All my gambling is done via sports apps, but that's just me.
but you get what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
That alternative is there. It's like the Tina trade, right? Like there's an alternative now.
Sure.
And before it was more like Hey, Ryan, let's meet up in Vegas before the start of the NFL season so that we can put in some bets, right? Something like that.
I'll
Well,
tell you,
you don't have to do that anymore.
you just reminded me. I know this is not the point that you were making, but you just reminded me. I still have never watched an NFL Sunday in a sports book, in a Vegas sports book.
Ooh,
And I think
let's do it, Ryan.
I
It's
was going to
fun.
say, I think at some point, Mitch, you and I, we need to do something like that where we go to a sports book, just sit down. That's Western time, right? So sit down there at 9 o'clock in the morning, order a couple of drinks, watch football all day, play some bets. Hey, man, I'm all about this.
That's all I got to say, man. Pinky is already up, my friend Ryan.
I'm in.
Might be something strong in here. Who knows?
Rippin's asking, doesn't Benzinga Pro have a sympathy tab? I think what you're talking about. Let me pull up my screen here, Dan. I believe what you're talking about is the peers tab, right? So if you have any stock loaded up in the details tool, one of the tabs at the top there is peers, and this gives you businesses that or other tickers that are related to the stock that you're pulling up. It's also worth noting that once you're in this menu, you can actually click on that ticker and it will load that into the details tool that you're looking. I think that's what you're asking for. Let me know if that does in fact meet your need.
All right, looking at one more trade here, team, to take one more. Getting into MS here, guys. Long on Morgan Stanley, 94.59s, willing to add to it. Like always, when you come into this play, I'm seeing the SPY try to take another move up, so that's why I'm taking this shot here. We'll see what happens there. If Morgan Stanley can get back up towards 95, can take some profits, then look to see if it wants to run from there. We'll see what happens. 4-to-1 trade. Let's see if I can get it. SPY taking another step. Morgan Stanley off the VWAP. Wasn't able to get fast. We'll see what happens there. And just to mention, the LYT, right? Halted again, right? Third halt. Boom. My man, the crow. The crow. I'm gonna get a crow sound for the crow out there. We gotta get a crow sound, Ryan.
Looking right now.
I think the crow's gonna like that one. There's the SPY, guys. That's what was leaning me a little bit more to the bull side. Remember, I talked about that earlier, right, in the day. I wanted to trade more along with the SPY, not with my mentality and my bear side, you know. I wanted to trade more with the price action. We got the lift there in the SPY. Now getting the lift there in Morgan Stanley. Going to look to see if this can continue pushing higher. And for that being mentioned, look for stocks that were strong, our leaders, to try to get maybe the bounce, right? Google staying strong all day. That I'm going to look to see it stay strong. Microsoft, nice little bounce there. Look at the right-hand side there. Look how Microsoft is starting to push. So if you're looking at areas that could get the push, that's where I would be looking. Did Netflix now start coming back? Yeah, starting to come back there. We'll look to see if it gets the lift above 339 and keep pushing. We'll see what happens here, team.
Can you hear that, Mitch? Did you hear the crow thing that I found here?
No, I didn't hear it. I don't hear it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you got to add it still.
Yeah, I was going to say the reason you don't hear it is because my audio setup is so that you don't hear the feedback if something plays over my speakers. I did find one here. I don't know if this is the one that you want. It's not a caw, it's just a caw, but we'll see. We'll work on this. You gave me a nice little.
It's not a caw, it's just a caw. We'll figure it out. I got you, Crow.
I love it. I love it. We're having too much fun on a Friday here.
Hey, the only
Dan,
way.
let me answer your question about Netflix showing LYT as a sympathy. I don't know if it's going to. One of the things about this is that, like, if you're looking at a big, first of all, the peers tab is something that's automatically generated. So it's possible that some of these more loosely tied stocks don't appear on that list. That's just something to keep in mind here. I am having all sorts of issues with my web browser this morning, though, man.
A little pullback here on Morgan Stanley. Going to look to see if we can get back above 94.70s. We got close there at the 69s. Let's see if we get back up there. SPY trying to hold the push, right? I want this pullback on the 5-minute not to break 390.50s. Continue the uptrend, right? That's what we need to see.
Oh my God.
All right, thinking about adding here on Morgan Stanley, if I can see that next step up there through the SPY. Want to add to this position here on the pullback, but just looking for the right adding spot. Really, I'd like to see the SPY take that next step up here. Now push away from the 390.50 pullback opportunity. See if we get that lift through the high. 3-minute candle on the left. So just to keep you guys in mind there. We'll see what happens here.
I'm sorry.
Relationships, teams. They're always so important. Don't worry, Ryan. You keep doing what you got to do, man. I'll keep calling out stocks here. I'm just looking at Morgan Stanley. So I'm like kind of into the trade, focused on it. But I got you guys, of course, if you guys have seen any other stocks out there. CAW being called out in the chat. Don't know that one.
Caw for Crow. That's not.
I like it. CAW team. CAW.
Oh man. That's funny. That is funny. Dan, no. So I finally wrestled my platform and got it to work here. I'm not seeing LYT on the peers list here. I don't know necessarily how that's generated. And I am seeing some smaller stocks in here like LVO, Genus, Ape even. So not seeing that one on here. Again, automatically generated by an algorithm, not checked by a person. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that. It's absolutely related based on the description of the of what the company does. Jay hit it right on the head.
All right, I want to let it come back down here. So you can see here we're starting to like hold around the 48s. There's like kind of like a little trend line, right? That you can start drawing, right? 3 points is what makes a trend line. Even if you're in a smaller time frame, what I look for is 3 points, right? And so now I think we could pull back here towards maybe like 50s, 49s, but we should kind of hold this reverse back up through that VWAP right here in the middle, right? And so you can see here how I've drawn that line there for me. That could be my add area somewhere right here close to that. That could be the add. Now I'm looking for this to push right back through the VWAP, and then I can hold off that 94.50. Going to go ahead and try to get the add here. Just got the add there. Now let's look to see if we can really take off here. So did reach up for the add. Could have put it in the limit down here. Might have been a little bit smarter, but already see that bounce there. Now we're going to look for the takeoff through this high. That's the important one too. Now you want to come back and take out that last attempt that you did to push up, which was around that 94.70. We'll look to see if Morgan Stanley takes that next run. And of course, the SPY, looking for it to hold the 390.50s on any pullback. Take out that candle to the left, 391.08s, and let's start pushing into the 391s. We'll see what happens here. Can we get the lift? LYT, is that the lift? It did open up and went through 2, and I think it's halting on the downside. Ryan, third halts, man. Those third halts.
Downside halt for LYT now. Don't overstay your welcome. Don't overstay your welcome.
I tell you, team, I would love to see if there's anybody in like any data collection has taken this statistic, but I have seen it often. These small plays that get halts after the third halt, it's likely that you get a down halt. I've seen up halts after that, like on the 4th halt, but a lot of times right after that, you could see that quick turnaround.
COSM trying to do a VWAP reclaim for a potential trade here. This is about all I see. So let's talk about this real quick, because this is actually something that I was discussing with Rippin yesterday. Would notice that a lot of these stocks that are showing strength early or making moves early end up having the big move being made later, right? So it's almost like the initial move was some window dressing, and then after we're off sometime later in the afternoon, you get a really big outsized move. Looking at COSM here, and using that as the backdrop, I think that could be possible. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I think that could be possible. So we did get a little move here today. But as this kind of compresses and as this kind of holds up throughout the course of the day, if you get a big volume push here and we break through some of these levels, you might actually end up getting a bigger move. And so now we've actually this is interesting. We've actually kind of pushed up to the VWAP here on COSM. We've done it on pretty, the volume is little. It's bigger than like the bars that came recently, but it's not outsized, I would say, yet. So this area here, this 372, 374 area, this seems to be the spot that this is stopping. It'll be interesting to see if we can push above here and go. A little bit of size here at 374 being hidden. So keep some of these on your radar. Some of these stocks that make big moves in the morning, maybe write them down on a piece of paper and keep them on your desk, and then check in on them around the lunch hour. Check in on them in the afternoon and see if anything has changed. Because again, it looked like here on COSM, we had the push out of the gate. Then we had the big push on volume. We're represented right here. And then it really kind of dried up, right? We retraced a gigantic portion of that move. We were hanging out under VWAP here. Volume's pretty pathetic, but now volume's starting to peak a little bit. Stock's starting to trade up. You see, we didn't quite have the strength to bust through the VWAP there on any type of volume. That doesn't mean that it can't still happen later today. So keep some of these names on the on your radar, or write them down on a sheet of paper. I wouldn't be shocked to see COSM make a move later in the day here today.
I agree, man. About to cut Morgan Stanley. If we keep coming down on the SPY, it looks like we're coming right back towards the 390.50s. We'll see what happens there. We're now down to 94.45. I need to see a recovery of 94.50 if not going to get out there. Your GNS is down below the 350s.
Yep.
Just kind of state that, right?
Yeah. So we saw that. So here's again the whole reason why I had kind of a more, let's call it aggressive downside target here, is because of the extension that we talked about prior to the market opening here. Stock went from 50 cents or 30 cents or whatever it was to $5. That it always means it can come back in more. So while that $4 bounce, that actually did give us a trade, right? That round number gave you a trade. You were able to trade that live here and actually book some profits. To me, it just seems like the stocks have a little bit more way to go. What will be interesting here now on GNS is, now that we've kind of overshot that 350 level, did we really find a bottom here around 320, right? What was that low print in there? Low print in here was what, 311. Okay, so that really was low threes. Let's see. We've actually got a bounce now. So if the low print here was 311, we're up about what, 34 cents from that low print. Let's see if we end up getting another breakout of this formation here. Let me zoom in, get you. So we tried, but it got yanked back. So let's see. This is really going to need some buying strength. Use the volume as your indicator here.
Keeping a close eye, about to get in Morgan Stanley. If we can't recover, not looking good. Hands on the trigger right now.
Bitcoin still holding 21,000, but has really kind of backed off its upward pressure. We'll see if that gets. Geez, I'm really struggling to get the sentences out. I'm sorry. It's obviously
no stress. Friday. It's Friday, my friend.
We will see if Bitcoin develops some more strength during today's session, is what I attempted to say the first time. Oh, man. Just got to laugh. Can't take it too seriously. Jay Wild wants to take a look at Cala. What's Cala doing? I haven't even looked at Cala yet today. DNS does look like it's trying to push past this 340. We'll see. See if 350 gets reclaimed. Oh, Cali, Jay, good call here. So this is it again. Volume, your trigger here. Cal, a nice $2.70 move out of this formation break on volume. Is there any news here, Jay? What's going on? Great call. I should have got to this earlier.
Kala.
Nope, don't see any news. Okay, let's see where our next target is. Okay, so it looks like we're going right to the high of Wednesday.
SPY, of course, bouncing
back off there.
390.50. 390.50, bounce off the SPY. Wayfair's up 15%. Can you give me a 15% discount because of that?
Does Wayfair have just what you need?
Wayfair.
I'll be honest. I've heard some horror stories from people that ordered on Wayfair. They order a sectional couch. One section would be a different color, and it was impossible to return. Stuff like that would just drive me up the wall.
Even the Crow saying, Jay, nice call there. Was watching it. It was on the radar. Good call out there, Jay. Jay Wild, if you guys don't know, I used to actually trade with Jay Wild years ago in beginner trading. And he actually joined us from that community. So It's always good to see Jay. It's always good to see Jay.
Shelly, it appears only you were lucky enough to hear the Ryan is sick sexy voice. According to you, that only lasted for an evening. So I'm sorry. I'll let you know the next time I'm sick, and you can see if you like it.
All right, not liking this downturn here.
You were able to figure that out because you were watching me stream on the weekend. Good for you, Shelly.
That's how you're getting better. GNS trying to get back there through 350s. The thing with GNS though, that you have to really be tight. I think with trades like this, it's either I go in so tiny that I can give it like a huge range, or I go in so tight with the risk so I don't get caught. That's the way I like to approach those types of stocks. But I'm also not the best at them. We could also ask people in the chat that are able to knock it out, right? And do really well on it. We'll see what happens there. SPY just keeps fighting this 390.50. Morgan Stanley keeps doing wicks here. What you got there?
Tanya's a new member. Welcome to the club.
New member. Welcome, Tanya.
To the family.
It's good to have you on. If you got a question or anything about a stock, or maybe what we do here, we got you.
We'll put Mitch to work for you.
What? Back in the workhorse days when that ran, Jay Wild remembers
I remember that.
I have to say, I was the workhorse call out. I still have a video that when it was below 3, the video is proof. That's how I got a job here at Benzinga. It's just call 1,000% mover and get Jason to say no.
Well, we're waiting for that next 1,000% mover here.
Hey.
Yeah, I know.
I only get a couple of those a year. I got Fubo though, right? That wasn't wrong.
Yes, you did.
That wasn't wrong. You got to find ways and plays, right? We take chances sometimes. The key is always when you take chances, you know what your risk is. Still watching the SPY battle the 390.50s. That's what's keeping me in Morgan Stanley. And another thing that's keeping me in is a smaller piece, right? That's been helping me out, Ryan, a lot. It's coming in really small so that like I can let the trade work in. There's a point where, yeah, my risk gets a little bit tighter, but this has been helping me out, team. Really, it's helping me get around some of the volatility. Hendricks, come on, man. I know
Hendricks is pissed that you're working.
He's trying to take over the show.
Wants the attention.
Can't blame him. He's trying to take over.
He is a cat, after all.
There's a little bounce there. SPY back towards 390.70s. MS back to 94.54s. Just want to see if we get a little ramp now.
To Bob's point here in the chat, that 391 level has been strong resistance for SPY the last couple of days. That's spot on, good Bob. Going back to yesterday, the big rally that we had, the big rally, I mean, that's relative. The biggest rally intraday yesterday, we definitely stopped right at 391. This is that level that you're talking about. We've done the same thing here again today. So the question will be, do we actually end up taking this out later in the day, or does 391 stop us yet again? This spot clearly in play. And if we go back here, you can actually see that this spot has been in play even in the past. In fact, we could probably back out to a longer time frame chart here. You can really get an idea. This 391 spot actually goes all the way back to the 1st of November of last year. So spot on here. Definitely that 391 spot, definitely in play. It was yesterday, and it is again here today. We lost Mitch. Hendricks has got to be going buck wild over there. Buck wild. Pray for Mitch. Pray for Mitch. Andy is saying, why are option prices so effed up today? I think that's probably because the options expiry. That would be my best guess. I haven't traded options today. Honestly, I've really tried to stay away from options this year. Got punished on trading options a lot last year, especially towards the end of last year. So I'm really kind of just backing off the options a little bit. Haven't really been looked at them. Haven't really been looking at them. I'm sorry for my grammar, folks. Hendricks is innocent. Lol. All right, you guys are asking about Helbaz. Let's take a look at that. HLBZ. Becca brought this up earlier. This is another one of those penny stocks. All right, so let's see. Helbaz, please. Helbaz looks like a bottom, very similar chart to GNS. So I think what Crow is talking about here, we had the move here on Helbaz. Again, shout out to Becca who called this here this morning. We've actually bled some of those gains back. We've bounced off the VWAP one time, and we've actually used that as resistance one time. So as far as the comparison here to GNS, maybe we get another bounce back up towards this VWAP, and that might give you a trade. I mean, we're talking about 3-4 cents here at this point. So I mean, you're going to have to adjust your position size in order to hold that. I wouldn't personally, but maybe we do get a curl back up towards that VWAP. If it behaves like GNS, then it would probably find resistance at that VWAP and then bleed back down. In fact, looking at GNS now, we are still kind of bouncing off of that 3 level. So maybe you could use 20 as an analog for that, something of that nature. Melanie saying SPY up or down. It was choppy out of the open. SPY has been up though here today. My thought here, or my gut feeling here on SPY, is that we do actually travel lower here. I wouldn't be shocked to see this give up its gains later today. Just a hunch, though. Quantum says, I'm starting to get chopped around. Yeah, we had a lot of that here this morning as well. Yep, no problem. Let's see what else you folks are taking a look at. Let's take a look at Amazon. I think John was asking about Amazon earlier. Yep. John, what are your thoughts on Amazon? I know this was a little bit ago, John, but we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Amazon here, just kind of trading with the market. I don't know why my thing just switched again. We can go back to LYT though, because it sure looks like that's going to test 2, just like Crow said right there. It's trying to hit all of them. Amazon here for me, John. Amazon here, maybe we've kind of found a bottom. The thing with Amazon here is that this is going to trade with the overall market, and I suspect if we do roll back over and test some of those lows, we are going to see Amazon a little bit lower here. I like this long term. I use Amazon. I've been a customer of Amazon for a long time, definitely a Prime member. Like it long term, but this is going to go with the market. So as far as spots here, I mean, maybe if we're able to break 98, maybe we can, if the market keeps rallying, we can trade back up here towards those highs.
All right, team, got stopped out there in MS, but still in the green for the day with that GNS trade earlier on. We'll see what happens if this is able to bounce back. It did cut through that 42. That stopped me out there for MS. So a small little cut through there. We'll see what happens in the rest of the day. SPY still fighting that 390.50 area. It could still bounce from here and then come right back up. I'm not going to keep battling with the SPY. The SPY is not really determining where it wants to go. It's kind of just starting to stair step its way back up. I don't want to play the stair step up. I'm looking for kind of the elevator moves. I'm looking for continuation moves, not just little stair step up. So I'm out of that. We'll see what happens. GNS also coming back down to 317. So that doesn't look good there. We'll take a look at the sectors overall, and we'll be wrapping up soon here. So definitely, if you got any last comments, Ryan, we'll go ahead and get towards those.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Let me answer Brad's question here real quick, and then I'll turn it back over to you. Brad is asking, what is the difference in SPY and the S&P 500? Okay, so SPY, let's start with SPY. SPY is actually what's called an ETF, right? So it's an exchange-traded fund. It is one of the SPDR exchange-traded funds. It is an analog to the S&P 500 index that allows traders to actually trade the movement of the index. The S&P 500, sometimes referred to as SPX or S&P cash, is actually the index itself, and it's not tradable. Like, for example, if I go into my broker right now and I pull up SPX, that ticker is the S&P 500 index, and there's no trading that I can do on this. It's just an index. So the tradable asset for that index is SPY, and it's run by the SPDR. It's one of those ETFs from the SPDR company. There's a number of different companies that do these ETFs: Direction, VanEck, SPDR, iShares. They all do ETFs. The SPY is a SPDR S&P 500 ETF. Hope that answers your question. SPX is optional. Thank you. Thank you, Quantum. That is correct. Have a good weekend, Judge. Enjoy the football, my man.
I'll give you guys some insight, and I will be 100% transparent about this. Yeah, go ahead, Ryan. You can hop. I had no knowledge that we were going to do this, but I will give you guys the inside scoop that we will be interviewing GNS on Monday. It looks like it. We have an interview around 11:05, giving you guys the inside scoop. Got to give my fans on live trading the inside scoop there, team. Others will find out about this, of course, going towards our Twitter. We'll be putting it up there on socials, but I wanted to give you guys the insight. I didn't know that we were going to do one. Just want to give the full disclosure on that too. We'll see what happens on GNS now. I'll try my best not to trade it anymore. I'm not going to do the interview. I'm going to have Zunaid probably do the interview because I've already traded it. So I'm going to do my best not to go ahead and do that interview for you guys. We try to be transparent, and that's 100% that we'll always try to be. All right, team. Looks like GE's coming back there. We'll see what happens. I talked about how I definitely don't want it to get back through 77.80s here. But overall in the day, the SPY trying to hold here, held that 390.50 pullback. It could keep pushing off of this. Was slow to start the day. Now it looks like things are starting to pick up back again. What looks interesting, maybe a Google VWAP bounce here from here. It doesn't look too bad. Microsoft has stayed strong. That's looking good here. Amazon, that doesn't look too bad. Let's see how Apple's been fighting its way back. Yeah, it's just been fighting. Kind of not the strongest Apple today, but definitely Google a little bit better. All right, team, but that's going to do it with me. Like always, I'm going to keep trying to do my best to bring you guys the most that I can here on Benzinga. And like always, you guys can stick up with us. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the show. And if you hit that bell below, you'll be notified the moment we go live. You guys see Hendrix here. He's hanging out with me. I always love when you guys hang out with me. And like always, catch us every week right here on Benzinga. And if you guys haven't joined the book club, you're going to be missing out this Sunday. So I'll give you guys one last opportunity. Who's going to be there? Let me know in the chat. 6 p.m. Sunday. We'll give you guys that email. You guys will see that. Hit the tape. You guys will get an unlisted link. Try not to share this with anybody else. You got to get into the club, right? Well, I'll see you guys over there. I'm throwing up the link right now. We'll see you guys on Sunday night. Also, smash the like button. No stock market movers today at 1 p.m. Eastern. Going to take a little break. Got some priorities I need to take care of. But I will see you guys on At the Close, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be my next show. I'll see you guys there as I go through all the action. And, of course, look at all the best trades of the day. We'll see what happens. Do we hold the 390.50? I'll see you guys at the close. Sunday football, Mitch? Well, I can take a break. At 6 p.m. Eastern time, Elon. So you guys can check that out. And if you guys want football, well, football comes up on 8 p.m.? Is it a 4 p.m. game? I can miss a little bit of the game. I'd rather be working on my skills, my trading skills. I'll see you guys at 6 p.m. See you guys there. And like always, hit the like on your way out. How do you join the book club? The link, Tanya. Hit the link. You'll be able to join up still. We'll see you guys like always. We're going to keep growing. And by any means, maybe trading in the zone is not your type of book. Stick around. There's plenty of books we'll get to this year with our Benzinga book club. Smash the like. I'll see you guys a little later. And like always, keep working on your skills, team. We never know which way the market's going to go. Even myself, even when I have the most conviction, I never know. The only thing we can do is try to set up a process approach. Stay in the probability and always work to analyze your data so that you can best your edge in the markets. We'll see you guys like always. Hit the like on your way out. And up next, let me see, make sure, get you guys over here to Benzinga Live up next. That's going to come at 11:30. There you go. We have it set up. We'll see you guys at Benzinga Live. That starts in about 30 minutes. See you there, team.
Check, now we